Hey guys, welcome to the show. We are going to continue our series that we've been doing recently, giving you guys the opportunity to pick your squads for the different formats. If you guys don't know about this, that we started this series recently, I started with World Cup 15, then I did the Test squad yesterday, and then today we're doing the T20 squad ahead of the next. Campaigns and games that are happening basically. So I wanted to get some insight into the fans' choices and what you guys think and which players you'd like to see, etc. So we've done every single format now, and we're moving on to T20. So that's what we're going to be doing on today's show. But when I start off, I'm going to start off with a little bit of news that broke about an hour ago regarding the World Cup, which I'm going to read out on the show first before we get into the main show, which is obviously revealing your T20 squads in the live chat. Before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I please like you guys to do. Please get the free subscription of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. Link is on the screen right now, as well as in the description. You will get the season review of the previous season and a look ahead from some of the top performers of last season, looking ahead at the new season. And we are currently busy on the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine, which we are busy with now. And as we speak, the articles are coming in thick and fast. I'm busy putting that issue together to get it ready for you by Monday, hopefully to launch and go live with a new issue. So please download the latest issue right now and subscribe. It's 100% free, and you'll get access to every single issue. So we're giving you a lot of value for free. Literally, all we need from you is to subscribe. Literally, that's all we need. We want to bring you the best possible content and give you guys the best possible information to help equip you guys to becoming that cricket fanatic that you desire to be. If you are new to the channel as well and that button is gray, it shouldn't be. So please click that button, then click subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos right now. Smash the like button and comment and share as well so we can get into recommended feeds on YouTube. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have conjured up in the live chat when it comes to the T20 squads that you would like to see be selected. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And today's show is going to be centered around T20 squads and the fans in the live chat revealing their squads and who they'd like to see in their 50-man squad for any T20 series in general, based on who you guys think are our best players. But before we get into that, there was a story that was released a little bit of an hour ago on ESPN Crick Info that I'd like to share with you guys because it does give some perspective from what we've spoken previously. So here is the article that is available. World Cup schedule will undergo changes, confirms Jay Shah. The BCCI secretary says several countries want tweaks made to the schedule that was released a month ago. The 2023 ODI World Cup schedule will undergo a few changes. BCCI Secretary Jay Shah has confirmed, with a revised version to be finalized in consultation with the ICC in a few days. Shah's statement came after it emerged this week that the BCCI was looking at moving the India versus Pakistan fixture in Ahmedabad from October 15 to 14, while Sahad did not reveal whether the India-Pakistan date was one of the changes. He did say the boards of several other countries had written to the BCCI pointing out logistical challenges the teams would face, thus requesting changes. He did not name the teams, though. There's a possibility there would be a few changes in the schedule. Shah said after the BCCI meeting in Delhi on Thursday, several full member countries have written in requesting to change 2 or 3 dates in the schedule. We are working out with the ICC and we should be able to clear it in 2 or 3 days. The primary reason for the BCCI considering bringing forward the India Pakistan fixture by a day was because local police had raised concerns over providing adequate security on October 15, which is also the first day of Navrati, a 9-day Hindu festival. SAS, however, categorically dismissed that as the reason. If security was an issue, then why would we go there? 14 to 15 is not the problem. 2 or 3 boards have written in asking to change bases based on the logistical challenges. There are some matches where there is only a 2-day gap, so it will be difficult to play and then travel the next day. And this is something that we spoke about, guys, about South Africa. And you're looking at their schedule, the different cities that they're playing in, and the time it's going to take to travel from one city to the next and then still get ready to play is going to be crazy. And I don't know if South Africa is one of those nations, but I think I think it would have been wise for them to also put in a request to change some of those schedules. So I say that the venues of matches would remain the same. um Where am I now? Okay, cool. Will remain the same as the revised schedule, but the gaps between games would be adjusted, which is very important. Like I said, I was a little bit worried about South Africa's schedule. As far as possible, we are looking at not changing the venues as well as the matches. Not changing the venue is very important. Teams which have 6-day gaps between matches, we are trying to reduce it to 4 or 5 days. And those that have just 2-day gaps, we are trying to increase to 3 days. The World Cup schedule was released exactly a month ago, which which itself was severe delay compared to the previous 2 World Cups, where the schedule was released at least a year in advance. The tournament is scheduled to begin on October 5 with regaining champions. With reigning champions England taking on New Zealand in Ahmedabad, sorry, and Ahmedabad, sorry. But the ICC and the ECCI have not yet announced when the tickets will go on sale. Shah said the ticketing process for the World Cup, the pricing, and the platform will be announced next week. Conditions in coordination with the ICC. So let's just have a look at the schedule again for you guys, um, just to get a quick understanding and look. Um, do they put all the schedules at the bottom of here? To Bangladesh. I just want to see South Africa's. South Africa begin their campaign in north of India. Oh, what's happening? In north of India, playing a qualifier in Delhi on October 8th, and then play Australia in Lucknow on October 13th. That means that there might be a change there. And the other qualifier in Dharamsala on October 17th. They then travel west to Mumbai to play England on October 21 and Bangladesh on October 24. Um, So that's like a 3-day gap between those two. After which they head south to take on Pakistan in Chennai on October 27, another 3-day gap. Their last 3 league games are against New Zealand in Pune on November 1st, against India in Kolkata and November 5, and against Afghanistan um, Ahmedabad on November 10. South Africa's first warm-up game is against Afghanistan on September 29 before playing New Zealand at the same venue on October 2nd. So that's our schedule over there. So yeah, there might be a couple of changes to the schedule, and when we get that update, we will release that to you guys as soon as we get the updated schedule. So let's get into the show. Like I did on the previous shows, I gave you guys some sort of indication of performances over the last 2 years, who our top performers are when it comes to the format. So we're going to start with that again here, right here on the show. And I'm going to give you guys um, the top performers for the T20 arena and which guys are the ones that are stepping up. Okay, so let's get into this right now. So when we look over the last 2 years, who are the top performers in T20 cricket. In 26 matches, 672 runs, with an average of 32 and a strike rate around 35 is Quinton Cock with 105 50s. Riza Hendricks, who won T20I Player of the Year at the CSA Awards, 18 matches, 663 runs, an average of 41.43 and a strike rate of 143.81. Brilliant. Brilliant stats here by Riza Hendricks and 750s. Then Aiden Markram is number 3 with 22 games, 609 runs, 46 average, good average, and 150 strike rate. Brilliant, 550s. David Miller is next on the list, 25 matches, 500 runs, 45.45 average, and 161 strike rate. Then we've got Riley Russell with 14 matches for 40 runs, 40 average, 181.06 strike rate, and 200 and 150 in that period. Then it's Rassie van der Dussen, 288, 36 average, only 115.20 strike rate, and 250s under his name. Then Heine Klaassen, 18 matches, 276 runs, an average of 23, a strike around of 53, and 150. Then it's Temba Bavuma, Tristan Stubbs, Dwayne Pretorius, Maharaj, and the bowlers, etc., that are on this list. So that's over the last 2 years when it comes to the batters. Then when it comes to the bowlers, to give you guys a quick indication of who our top bowlers are in the T20 format over the last 2 years, it will be Anik Nokia, 22 matches, 31 wickets, a 15 average, and a 6.90 economy rate. Terbere Shams is the next on the list with 22 matches, 29 wickets, 20 average, 8.27. Then it's Lungi Ngidi, 14 matches, 24 wickets, 16.66 average, 9.05 economy rate. Then it's Keshav Maharaj, 25 matches, 22 wickets, 27.50, 7.21. Then Dwayne Pretorius, who isn't playing international cricket anymore, 16 matches, 22 wickets, 17.68 average, 8.45. And then Kagiso Rabada with the most amount of games behind Keshav, 24, 19 wickets, 37.68 average, and 8.62 economy rate, which is quite a high actually. And then we've got Wayne Parnell next, 16 matches, 18 wickets, 26 average, 8.26. And then Aiden Markram, 22 matches, 7 wickets, 21.57 and 6.86. And then we've got under 10 matches with Bjorn Fortuin, Pelkakwayo, Janssen, etc. So that's the quick summary for all of you guys, so that you guys can have a quick look at who are the top performers in T20 cricket in South Africa. And it comes to the part of the show where now I want to talk about specifically your squads and what you guys have selected. So Lawrence, once again, beating everybody to it with these squad first. Batters: Quinton de Kock, Riza, Riley, Markram, Miller, Klaassen, Stubbs, Brevis. All-rounders: Janssen, Spinner, Shamsi, Fortuin, Seam, KG, Nokia, Kutsia, Magala. Again, a bit harsh on Lungi, but he ain't playing games at the moment. And that's the squad I would go with as well. I think that's a well-balanced side. I think it ticks off all the main players that we have available to us. And it would be the same squad that I would go with. So I actually 100% agree with that squad. Um, um, the only person that you can maybe put the question mark over, as Navneet said in here, is probably KG. He hasn't necessarily been the best player in the T20 circuit for a very long time. He hasn't necessarily been at his best in the T20 format, but if Lungi can get that, then I could see a Lungi swap for KG for T20 cricket. But yeah, that's going to be up to obviously the selectors. Lawrence says, do I ever feel that Lungi will form part of the T20 squad? So Kutsia might miss out, unfortunately. I also went with the DRB or DB, Deval Brevis, because our T20 squad is actually aging. So we need to blood for the T20 World Cup next year. But also that Rispin option, he's played a lot of T20 cricket. International cricket, if you want to blood in Deval, I think that the T20 format is probably the best format for us to blood him in, to give him some international experience, get familiar with the international players so that he can become the player that we know he can. He's had enough T20 experience around the world and for the Titans for me to be comfortable in saying, you know what, let's give him a chance in international cricket. So I would go with Deval Brevis as well in my squad and give him a chance at maybe number 7 as a potential option. Or maybe we need to look at it from a different point of view. Just maybe we need to pick one of KG or Lungi. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and not both. Maybe it's premature thinking. I don't know. I agree with that actually. I think it needs to be between KG and Lungi. Right at this moment, based on KG's performances in T20 cricket, even in the SA20, and even for the IPL, he has, and even now in the MLC, he hasn't been necessarily at his best in this format. I think Test cricket is still his best format. He's devastating in Test cricket, so I think that is still his best format. Justin, T20 11 versus Aussies. He says the Cock, Riza, Brevis, Markram, Klaasen, Miller, and Stubbs, Parnell, Janssen, Shamsi Kutsia, resting Nokia and Rabada for ODIs, he says. Is there a possibility we could see Faf in T20 squad next month since we want to play next year World Cup? Well, that was in the discussions. Faf was discussed with Rob and DOC, etc., about whether they can make that work. The conversations were happening, but it's looking unlikely because we haven't really that news has really died down. So we haven't really seen any updates on that particular news story and what is happening with regards to that. So it does look unlikely, but it's still possible because I mean, Faf in World T20 cricket, in franchise cricket, has been phenomenal for a couple of years now, and really is up to his game as a potential opener for South Africa. And it's all got to do with Quinny. Quinny's our best T20 player currently with regards to the amount of runs scored. Um, and if he can't if he can't be consistent and he starts to fall off that consistency, that could be a possible replacement over there. I don't think our T20I squad needs any changes at the moment. We are favourites to win the T20 World Cup according to the bookmakers. So I would keep the current squad until the next World Cup, says Tabo. I still do think that we need a number 7. And I think that Diava Brevis would be a perfect number 7 in my opinion. I think bringing him in over there, wrist spinning option. Um, and also he can just play with freedom and be that wild card for South Africa, the black horse for South Africa, the standout player. He can be like our secret weapon because Deva Brev is playing with no pressure and just going out there and playing his best and just going out there and playing his shots and putting pressure on the opposition will be brilliant, I think. And I think it gives us an extra bowling option. And I think with regards to even if he bowls 1 or 2 overs, with Aiden Markram's effectiveness in the T20 format with the ball over recent times, I think that will be a devastating top 7 if we can bring him into the fold. Our death bowling is really poor. Anna is good. Need to work on the KG and Ngidi. Don't try the Yorker. They don't, eh? Risa Quinto, but it's weird because in the IPL and stuff, I've seen KG used to use the Yorkers quite often. Actually, he was more consistent with those. And then suddenly, when he played for South Africa, it's like the players don't use Yorkers suddenly when they play for South Africa, but I see them do it for their IPL teams, etc. Risa Quinto, Kokfaf, Aiden Klaasen, Miller, Linda Janssen, Anna, KG, and Magala, says Gaurav. SA versus Sri Lanka, then Australia, then Netherlands, first 3 games. First 3 games, yeah. I'm happy with the schedule, but it took long for the schedule to be released, said Tabo. Yeah, that's still talking about what we started with at the top of the show. Dick says he wants Tristan and Devalt in the team. Where's Pretorius? Retired. Yeah. Rassi van der Dussen was a regular in our T20I team. Why is he being ignored? He's being ignored because of the way modern T20 cricket has developed. Um, Having a player like Rassi who can't kick on and bat quickly in the T20 format is actually a detriment to the team. There aren't enough overs for us to allow him to settle in and go and play and get his eye in first before he goes on to attack. He needs to kind of almost attack within the first couple of overs. So I think that's the main thing for me with regards to Rassi. I think his strike rate needs to improve. As we saw, his strike rate's only 115 over the last 2 years in T20 cricket. So I think that's probably the main reason is the style of play, not necessarily complete ability, but also style of play. We've also seen he hasn't been favored in T20 leagues as one of the first choices on the team sheets. So it's not necessarily only us as South Africa that is ignoring him. It tends to be also some of the T20 leagues as well. I appreciate Rassie van der Dussen a hell of a lot as a player, as a person, as a human being, and what he offers in the longer formats. But in T20 cricket, when we have players that can strike the ball at 130, 40, 30, 40, 50 plus, they need to take they need to be they are ahead of someone, for example, like Rassie at the moment. We had the same problem, the same criticisms about Temba Bavuma. And Temba Bavuma's strike rate is actually better than Rassie van der Dussen's strike rate. But yet a lot of us called for Temba's head based on his strike rate. So when it comes to that, we have to also be fair and give the same criticism to someone like Rassie. At the moment, I think we have two young stars um, that have the capabilities of being very destructive. And if we can set up our rest of our team with a solid top 4, 5, 6, then we can bring those youngsters in like Tristan and Dierwoud to be those to play with freedom and also to add maybe 1 or 2 overs with the ball as well. So at the moment, I think in T20 cricket, I think maybe Dierwoud Brevis, because of the bowling aspect, he's bowled more than Tristan. Tristan hasn't really bowled much in T20 cricket, so he's bowled more. That's what puts him ahead of Tristan for me personally. Even though I feel that Tristan, with his maturity and the way he is currently in his game, he's a little bit further ahead than Dierwoud, because obviously he has age on him. But when it comes to having that extra bowling option, that's where I think we have something that is really, really dangerous. Deva Brevis has picked up some key wickets for the different teams that he's played for. I mean, in the IPL, picked up the wickets of like Virat Kohli, for example, and he's bowled pretty well every single time he's been given the ball. And he has that wrist spin option, that secret weapon with regards to wrist spin. So that's also something that we need to take into account. Don't know how much the recent MLC will play a role in Faf getting recalled or not, because he's actually having a shocker with the bat at the moment. Highly doubt we'll see him, though, as our squad is already aging. Yeah, it's. I think that Faf should be almost like a backup plan in a way, you could say. Like, I mean, if we're having issues with an opening batter because, for example, Quinn is not performing or he's going off terribly off form and he doesn't look good ahead of the World Cup, or he picks up an injury, for example, then I think we can bring in someone like Faf maybe as a backup. But at the moment, I think keep the same squad. I just think Quinny has to find a way to be more consistent and be the player we know he can be. Khalid, um, why and how we lost that Dutch game in T20 World Cup last year. Pff, bro, um, didn't turn up. I mean, if you guys watched my review show, I went on a massive rant when it came to that World Cup exit. I was extremely angry about it. I wasn't very happy with the way we performed. From the moment we started playing, we didn't look like we were in the game. Only a couple of players really um, put in full on efforts. Pardon. So yeah, the whole attitude of the players was just was terrible. And I gave a rant. You guys can go back and watch that review and see how angry I was after that performance. Tell me something about Markram as a person. Um, One of the most humble cricket play people that I know. Um, he's always keen. Well, with me personally, he's always been keen to chat to me and give me his time and effort to have an interview with me or catch up with me whenever he sees me out. If I go out and I'm in that side of the world, or he's down here and I see him out in public, he'll always come over and greet me and say hello and take his time, regardless of who he's with. I mean, there's been occasions, for example, when I went for the tour for the SA20, etc., and I saw him with Alga and with Anne Klaassen out in Santon Mall, for example. He came up to me and he greeted me, and even though he was with him, he gave me some time. Even though he was busy, he just to say hello and check up on how I am. I went to the hotel after the SEC semi-final that he scored 100 in, to congratulate him. And even though the players were unwinding and having their own personal time, he had no I was meeting someone else there. He had no reason to come and chat to me. We spoke for almost an hour together about the game and about things. So he's one of the nicest cricketers that I've met, for example, when it comes to that as a person. Always giving time to the fans to sign, take photos, take selfies, etc. So Aiden is an amazing cricketer, but also he backs that up by being an amazing person to a human being as well first. So from my perspective, that's my opinion on him. He's one of the cricketers that I've always have time for when it comes to interviews, when it comes to having a chat and talking about him. Can we beat Aiden? Can we bat Aiden at three? I think he would do more. He would do better at three as he could get some more time. Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, we have Riley Rousseau. Um, it's nice to bring in someone into at the crease that can really get going when we lose a wicket to get going off the first 5 6 deliveries, maybe or the first 1 or 2 overs at least. It's very good to have that to take pressure off the side immediately, and that's what Riley actually offers. I mean, have been very critical of Riley's consistency in the past. I've said I would like to see him score more consistently because he does tend to he hit a massive 100 and then go missing, and then hit a 50 here and then go missing, and then he's not very consistent with regards to his performances. Like, for example, consistency is very difficult in T20 cricket. I did an interview with Riza Hendricks at a CSA Awards where I asked him that question because he's actually the anomaly when it comes to this. He's the outlier when it comes to consistency because in T20 cricket, he's been exceptionally consistent, scoring back to back 50s on multiple occasions. And it's very difficult to be able to bring that into the game, to bring that consistency at the top order and consistently get half centuries on the trot. So it's a skill that if you have it, utilize it, and that's why Riza needs to be one of the first players on that team sheet because of his consistency that he brings to that top order. At least we know that we'll be in a strong position if we lose a wicket, because Riza will most likely score runs every time he walks out into the middle. Uh, every time he walks into the middle, we can expect him to score, and that's so good to have because it takes off pressure off the rest of the team. Imagine a scenario of that we're going to get runs. Then Quinton can play freely, Riley can play freely. Then you've got Aiden to consolidate if we lose wickets, and then Heinrich Klaassen, fantastic. David Miller, fantastic. And then you can bring in another batter that can come out to play with freedom, like maybe Brevis or Stubbs. It really gives us a strong unit, and it brings confidence to the entire team knowing that you have that balance in the side. I think our T20 side is probably the most balanced at the moment. To be honest, Dick says don't need Faf. Tabo says they underestimated the Dutch, and I'm afraid they could do it again in the Himalayas. Dick says Q, Quinton, Riza, Riley, Aiden, David Miller, Heinrich Klaassen, and Tristan Stubbs, probably, you mean T. Kagiso, Gerald, Anrich, and Debray Shamsi. DB can bring that what JP Dumini brought to our limited over squad, batting in the middle order and some overs with the ball, 100%. That loss still haunt me to this day, bro. It haunts me too. I was, like I said, you go rewatch that review show of mine. I was angry that day. Um, I was angry also because we had to get up for that match. Got up early, hours of the morning to stream, do a review show, to do a preview show as well, and then do a review show. Get up early in the morning to do that, and they performed like that. It was heartbreaking. Dick says this time we will bully them. Markram is poor at rotating strike, and I prefer him in the middle order in the T20Is, but not in the longer formats. Dex, I might be there at the Himalayas to watch the game live, and I hope they do. But there's something about the Dutch side. Yes, we shouldn't underestimate them ever. We shouldn't underestimate any team. We need to try and bring that winning mentality and be ruthless in every single game that we play. Um, I want to see that ruthless winning mentality in every single game that we play. There shouldn't be any complacency when it comes to our players. They need to play with a winning mentality, and they need to bring that consistency to their games. Um, the more consistent our players are, obviously, the better. If we can get more players to perform like like Riza does on a regular, makes us even more deadly. We have the skills, we have the players, we have the balance, we have everything that we need. The recipe for success in T20 cricket, we have it all. Even our bench is good. So we just need to bring that mentality of staying strong and pushing for victory in the difficult periods when we play. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can win the T20 World Cup. I think that's probably the format we'll win first out of all the other formats that we have currently, because the WTC happens over 2 years and we'll have a World Cup. So a T20 World Cup, I think that's our best chances of winning a World Cup. I was so disappointed that we played so well in both World Cups, and it was just like one game or two games that really destroyed us. Um, I think that Pakistan game was a must win for us, and we didn't go into that game either with that mentality, with a mentality of, we want to be ruthless. I think we shouldn't look at South Africa mustn't look at permutations when they go into World Cups. They should play with the mentality of just like, we're going to be ruthless and want to beat everybody, no matter what the permutations are. Let's try to be ruthless and destroy teams, and put them out of the game. And then the control is back in your hands. It's not we were hoping that someone loses to X so that we have a chance of scraping through and getting into a World Cup final. If that's the case, then we don't deserve to win a World Cup. We should be ruthless and go out there and perform. And then if we can do that and win all our games, then obviously, yeah, your chances are great. But I don't want to be working in a situation where we're thinking about permutations and, oh, we need to beat this person by this amount of rates with net run rate and all this nonsense. Go out there, be ruthless. Play your best cricket every single time you walk to the middle. There's no need. It's a short tournament, T20 World Cups. It's a short turnaround. Just sacrifice for that period, put in 100% in every single game. And then at the end, we can look back and be perhaps lift the trophy. Um, so yeah, thank you for the squads, guys, and releasing your squads to me and showing them live to me on the show. Um, like I said already, I actually agree with Lawrence's squad. I think that that's a very good squad, um, and I would probably go with the same. I would like to see Tristan and Dewald get blooded into this team. I think that we have the ability in T20 cricket to play with seven batters, a batting all rounder, ultimately, someone that can bowl a couple of overs and also bat really well, and lengthen our tail. I think that's possible because then our all rounders that we do have available can bat at eight, where they should be um, batting anyway. So your Marco Janssens or your Magalas can bat at um, eight and nine. It gives us that option and ability. So yeah, I'm happy with the current squad in T20 cricket. That's why I kept it for last, guys, because I knew it's going to be the shortest show out of the lot, and I knew it's going to also be the easiest one probably to do out of the lot. So that's why I kept it for last, because I thought that it would be better to get the more complicated ones out of the way first, where there are spots up for grabs, etc. Because currently, there aren't really many spots up for grabs in the T20 format. I mean, especially in our batting order. I think our batting order is sorted. I think Quinton, Riza, and Riley, and Aiden, Klaassen, and Miller are top six. I think is sorted. Then we just need to decide whether we're going to play in two all rounders, a batting all rounder and a bowling all rounder, or two bowling all rounders. I would go with the extra batter. I would go with a batting all rounder and work on Tristan Stamps' bowling, work on Deva Brevis' bowling, bring one of them in at seven, and then we can bring our bowlers in. Because we have some bowlers that can bat too, like Gerald, like Mangala, like Janssen, that can occupy that eight slot and allow us to bat up until eight, possibly even nine, with Andrich Nokia at 10 and Shamji at 11. it gives us that option, you know. Lorenzo says, I feel always go into ICC events, not event knowing who our best 11 is, but without a certain blueprint that will get you over the line. Our players and management love overthinking things, says Lorenzo. Quentin, actually, his team is Quentin de Kock, Riza, Riley, Brevis, Miller, Klaassen, Stubbs. He is dropping Aiden. Ferreira, he's put in Fortain, Linda, KG, Nokia Kutsia, Tete, interesting, and Potgieter, a very new team over here that he's selected. Text saying it's the right time for Deerwoud. Yeah. Guys, I'm sorry about the shorter show today. It's load shedding, and yeah, the lights are going to go off. I'm not going to have good lighting, so it's going to cause some issues with regards to that. But thanks a lot for tuning in to the show. Tomorrow we'll do another Q&A session with you guys, where you guys can ask me questions, as many questions as you like, and I'll try to answer it. Let's try to make it fun as well, guys. Oh, there the lights go. Let's try to make it fun, guys. Because I also like to answer questions that maybe are not. If you guys want to ask me some other questions, non-cricket related stuff, maybe about film, maybe about music, maybe about other sports, as well as cricket. I want it obviously to be cricket central, but if you do guys want to ask me other questions, you can. So let's make tomorrow's Q&A session a nice, fun, relaxing session for me to just like take my mind off things, because I've been working really hard on things to try and get the ball rolling with other aspects of business. So yeah, it would be nice to just relax and talk to you guys and answer your questions. I also put up like an Instagram post before the show for you guys to enter your questions on Instagram. Can you please maybe put in one or two questions in there so that I can maybe make that the headline of the show and also put it on the thumbnail, because it helps me come up with new headlines that are a little bit more catchy than me just saying live Q&A session. So please look out for that on Instagram. I'll put it up on our story so that you guys can put in your question and ask a question there too, so that I can maybe headline with it. The best question will get the headline of the show. So that's also an opportunity for you guys to get your part and to add your own like twist to the show and the main topic of the show. So go ahead and do so. It's your opportunity to ask questions, and we'll be able to do so. We need to see Deva Brevis in the T20I squad, says Tabo. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Don't forget to subscribe to the magazine. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Let me show you right now. We have some excellent interviews in here. Craig Alexander from Northwest. We've got Grant Morgan. We've got from the Tuskers. We've got Mashimbi in that issue. We've got Imran Khan in that issue. We've got some comments from from Matthew Bielski, Payas Swanepoel as well. So it's a great issue to give you an insight into our domestic circuit and where people are at. So please go ahead and subscribe. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell for all future videos as well. Very important that you do so, and smash the like button to get us into recommended feeds. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with our Q&A session. Just remember to please ask some questions on Instagram, but also bring your questions into the live chat. Let's make it fun. Let's make it interesting, and have an amazing show tomorrow at 7. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.